Welcome to our online event titled Don't Quit. Improving your district's community engagement and communication is possible. Our guest speakers today are from Noblesville Schools in Indiana, and I'm Deborah Woods, Senior Marketing Specialist with SchoolWires, and I'll be your host. So now let's get this presentation started. Today you're going to learn from your peers about their experience finding and implementing a responsive one-stop portal for their district. They will cover what is important to look for in a website and community management solution, including stability and an integrated mobile communications app. And after the presentation, we will field questions from you. Our guest speakers today are Andrew Swickheimer and Michelle Turner. For the past 2 years, Andrew has served as the Director of Technology for Noblesville Schools. Prior to serving as Director of Technology, Andrew was a building level administrator for 5 years, most recently as an assistant principal at Noblesville High School. Andrew was also a teacher for 11 years, where he taught business, computer program, and social studies. Michelle is the Data Integration Manager for Noblesville Schools, and she's been employed with the district since 2007. Michelle's primary job responsibilities include web development and database administration. She codes in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, and SQL. She is currently learning LUA and Objective-C for mobile app development. She has a Bachelor of Science degree from Purdue University, where she studied computer science, and now she's pursuing her Master of Science in Technology through Purdue. So without further delay, welcome Andy and Michelle. The mic is all yours.
Hello, everybody.
Hi there.
Well, just to start out, we obviously we had a high expectations for our website because, as you all know, it is the hub of information for your school district. So we really had to when we set out to create a vision for our website, we wanted to make sure that it was reliable. Obviously, if the website goes down, you start to receive a lot of phone calls. So we really had to find something that would operate 24/7. It had to be aesthetically pleasing and easy to find information. We wanted people to be able to find things just in 1 or 2 clicks. And it obviously needed to be really user-friendly. And we all know that mobility is king now, so we had to have a platform that folks could access our content on mobile devices and tablets.
Yep, so that's kind of what our vision was for what our website needed to become and what we were looking for. So kind of our history, kind of a little bit of where we came from before we got to the solution we have now. We've had a website, I think, dating back to about 1997. So we've had a school website for quite some time. The first solution that we had, and we had it for roughly 10 years, we call it an in-house, but we were really partnered with a little company, and we basically just outgrew their capacity and they could no longer handle us. So then after we moved from them, we started searching for something that would be able to handle the volume of traffic that we were starting to get, and so we went with a bigger commercial solution. At first we thought that was great, had a slick new design, but that didn't live up to our expectations. They made us a lot of promises and then were bought out by a larger company and kind of no longer supported anything that we had with them. So we were in the boat that we had a couple of solutions, and now we really wanted to move forward and make our website. We envisioned it as the portal to all things Noblesville Schools. So,
and as you all know, when you're implementing a tool like that, and you try to get all your stakeholders on board, and then things don't work like they should, and they start to fail, you start to lose people pretty quickly. So that's what happened to us.
So yeah, so just some of the challenges that we had were significant downtime. The server would crash quite often. There were days when I call them our bad weather delay days, when parents were trying to check the website to find out was it a 2-hour delay, were we closed, and it would crash the website because too many people were trying to access it. And that's definitely at a critical moment. You do not want your website going down. It was also very slow hosting. You would try to access a page and it was just bogged down. Again, partly because of traffic and partly because they had server issues. Our websites too, they were very text heavy. We didn't have a lot of photos or video, so it wasn't very, again, it goes back to aesthetically pleasing and engaging or very dynamic looking. So we were we didn't want the third strike to go out. So we knew where we'd come from. We knew the issues that we had. And so we started to develop a plan of what we were going to do next time out.
And so we just want to share, our experience, because obviously we went through all that and we don't want a lot of other folks to have to deal with some of those problems. So, we started searching for the right solution. And really to do that, we put together a list of things that we really had to have. This is just 2 years ago when we started this. So we really went through and brought together a group of stakeholders and put together a list of our non-negotiables. What are things that we had to have from a vendor when we're going to implement a new solution. And we developed that kind of rubric, if you will, or matrix. And that was really our starting point.
Yeah, it's number one, reliable hosting and uptime. We could not have website crashing on us when, again, like those bad weather days or at the beginning of the school year when parents are looking for the back to school information. That website needs to be up and running 24/7.
And, we wanted to have a great design because, this is the face of your district. So, for a lot of people don't come into your buildings or it may be their first experience with your district. So we really wanted to have a design that stood out and made us look good.
And the options, one of the things the teachers with teacher pages and even at the school buildings themselves, they wanted to have more control, creative control over the content. And in the past, they had been very, very limited that this was the template that you can use and that's it. You're stuck with this design. You can't add, really any other great looking content. You can't change the layout, that sort of thing. And just the creative control to allow different types of editing roles. We wanted to push that back to the buildings to give them as much control so it wasn't all on, say, one person at the district level.
And obviously, whenever you're looking for a vendor like this, you want to see a roadmap that shows that they're going to continue to support and upgrade the product and keep up with the times. Some of our previous vendors didn't really do that, and then we felt like the platform kind of got outdated. So we wanted to make sure we found a vendor that was going to keep up with upgrades and had a roadmap and had a proven roadmap for updating and maintaining their to the current standards.
Mobile compatibility. I mean, everybody, I don't think this is any surprise, everything's mobile now. And the shift, has been going to personally owned devices like tablets, phones, things like that. Compounded with us is the fact that we are a Mac district and everything outside our district tends to be a Windows world. So some of our past solutions were very much Windows based. So things did not work 100% with our Mac users here within the district. So we needed something that was going to be Mac friendly, work on iPads. We have started an iPad deployment for grades 6 through 12 in our district. So that means no Flash content. Had to get away from anything that would rely heavily on Flash. And like I said, just it has to work and look good no matter what device is being used.
And obviously customer service is key. Without good customer service, when you do need help or do have questions, you got to be able to call somebody, send an email, put in a ticket, and be able to get, support in a timely manner because, your community wants to be able to interact with your web solution. And if it's not working, you've got to have great service to get things, going right away. So we were looking for that as well. And like I said, we started out with a committee of stakeholders. We gathered together a group that we thought could give us some input as we started to look at vendors. And we got together a group of teachers, a group of parents, some of the technology leaders in our district. We also had some community leaders that have a background in technology, and we tried to bring those people in. Obviously, we wanted to hear from our administrators, and we have a PR and marketing, some folks in our district that work in PR and marketing, and obviously this is one of their key tools, so we wanted to bring them aboard too, to make sure they had input. So we brought all those folks together and put together a committee and kind of drafted our evaluation rubric that we were going to use to look at vendors and move forward from there. And thinking about the rubric that we developed, we had three main categories that we looked at. We really wanted to look at from the technical side, the website, how it was managed, how easy was it to add content, how was it something that our teachers could use, that they could get in and easily add video, easily add content, easily add things that they want to share with their with students and parents. We wanted to look at the technology ecosystem that the platform was built on. Was it going to work on all the different devices? Did we have to, develop a lot of software to, do we have to develop things so that it ran on all of our devices and make sure that it just worked well and was up, had 99.9% uptime. And we wanted to be able to engage with our community because, as we all know, community engagement is about two-way communication. So we needed to be able to not only share information with our community, but also give them opportunities to share information with us. So we really looked for a tool that had that two-way communication where, we could integrate the social media and we can integrate video and rich content and tell the story of our district. But at the same time, when people wanted to share information with us and share stories with us, we had the tools in place with blogs and different social media tools and wikis and things like that to be able to do that. So those are really our three main categories that we looked at: the management and the ease of managing the website, the ecosystem that it was built on, kind of the backbone or the technology infrastructure that the platform was built on, and how well is it going to engage our community? How are we going to be able to develop that two-way communication with our stakeholders?
Yeah, so that's and one of the things that we kind of had, I don't know if you call it a tough sell, but we'd lost so much credibility with our teachers from our previous solution because we had so much downtime and so many problems. We really had to convince them that this was going to work and that it was going to be easy, because that was another key. Whatever the teachers were going to be added, or really anyone in the buildings, it really needed to be very easy. They don't need to be trying to figure out HTML code to update their page. So that was kind of included with all of that. We had to convince our own staff members.
Yeah, and again, we did a lot of testing and look and obviously weighted these different metrics, and we're more than happy. I see some of the chat folks asking about the rubric. We're more than happy to share that. But obviously, these are the main categories. I kind of alluded on some of those, but obviously service and support are really important. The company, I went and talked to other districts in the area, looked at other, talked to other technology directors, in central Indiana, and I wanted to get their feedback and hear what other people were using and what the kind of the references were saying. Obviously the performance was huge, and user experience. We went to districts, when we were looking at different vendors, we went to their sites because they all have them on their main website, and looked at what it looked like. We looked at the performance, looked at the user experience. So we were able to develop and look at a lot of those different things.
And then that was kind of the next step then, was to request demonstrations. And I can't remember how many times we had these demonstrations to different groups. Again, we had that committee form, but we would have the vendor come in and present the website product to us. We had that done multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to, I don't know how many of you have all sat in on webinars or WebEx type presentations, but it's really not the same as when you have somebody come on site and you have your committee together, and they can ask questions and share examples and take you through the product, face to face. It really gives you another level of engagement that you really don't get if you do things virtually. So we're really thankful that a lot of the vendors that we work with and looked at were able to come on site and do an in-person demonstration and really walk us through their product. So that was really something that was important to us. And again, we were able to get our questions answered. They took us through all the features and were able to show us some of the clients that they work with. They were able to tell us about some of the other school districts that they work with in the area and give us some of those references that we could call to follow up on. And obviously, it's a lot about relationships, building that relationship with them so that, when we need something or we have questions or, if something comes up, we can reach out to them and they get back to us pretty quickly. And with SchoolWires, we obviously had all those things. So it worked out really well for us.
Mobile compatible. I saw one of the questions pop up in the chat window asking if we had the mobile app. We do have the SchoolWires mobile app for our district, and we're pretty excited about that. We got that launched right at the end of the school year, so we're really going to start taking advantage of that once we start the new school year here in about a week and a half. But yeah, again, being mobile compatible was a critical sticking point for us, especially, like I said, we have the one-to-one initiative with grades 6 through 12. All of our teachers have iPads. So again, we needed a website that would look and function, be fully functional on a mobile device.
Yeah, and we do have the Google Analytics activated on our site, and so we can see, what type of devices are accessing our site, and over 70% of our visitors are coming to us on a mobile device. So we know that that's critical, and working with SchoolWires, we were able to develop that mobile app that takes our content and makes it not only mobile friendly with a responsive design, so that it automatically resizes the content based on the user's device, but we also were able to develop a mobile app so that folks can download that app and receive push notifications, can upload content and do other things like that right through the app that we created for our district. And again, I mentioned, the Google Analytics, that 70% of our traffic is mobile. And, obviously our parents are accessing our website on their mobile devices. And our users, our teachers, our administrators can upload content to our website via those mobile devices. So really, it's the anytime, any place ability to manage that content and engage our stakeholders has really been critical.
And students as well, since they have the iPads now, the student traffic that's coming through has just jumped phenomenally.
So again, after a year with SchoolWires, we wanted to share some of our results, and you can see here kind of a profile of the different, of our website on some different platforms. And I saw that somebody shared the link to our site down in the chat window. So obviously, take a look, and you can see how on different devices it responds. And you should see, if you're on a mobile device, the link to download our app. And we've had enormous success with our website.
And so again, the responsive design, just an amazing feature that I'm so proud to be able to go out, and sometimes I get invited to talk to design classes at our high school, and when I show them the responsive design, it's pretty neat to watch their eyes light up. So if you view our website through a regular web browser, just kind of drag and shrink your screen, and you'll see the website start snapping to adjust to whatever size your window is. So that's pretty cool.
And we use the website as the starting point for a lot of our communication. So you'll notice on our site in the upper right hand corner we have a tab just for students. So that's where we tell our students to go to find a lot of those resources that we put on there for them. They want to know what are we having for lunch today? How do I get to our to PowerSchool, our student information system? How do I get to our learning management system and some of those other things? How do I find some of those curricular content areas? So we've put all those things on our website, and that's how we know that our students are using it, is because they're able to find those things and use those things in the classroom pretty much seamlessly, because we created that differentiated those links that are differentiated by user. And we did the same thing for parents. Obviously we took the top sites that our parents visit and put them in there, and we did the same thing for our staff. So having that customizable option there has allowed us to really customize menus for our parents and push content that they want to see.
So again, and we've been, with SchoolWires for just over a year now, and honestly, we have had zero site stability issues. And I think you saw on the last slide, our traffic, we are averaging 120,000 unique page views per month on our website. Our district size, our student population, we've got 10,000 students, and then teachers are what, maybe
about 750.
700, yeah. So then you add on, parents and community members that are looking at it. We are getting a lot of web traffic, and as I said, the site has been completely stable, and we've experienced no problems with it. And again, alluding to the mobile device, we are one of the first districts to have our own mobile app in the App Store for both Apple and Android.
Yeah. And then I can't say enough about the way that we've been able to engage our stakeholders through social media. And obviously this was something that we wanted to be an important part of our website design. And you'll notice that we were able to incorporate, our Facebook page as a part of our website design. But I can't say enough about, community engagement and using those social tools. And I just put an example, like this is an example that our baseball team won the state championship. And we had, over, thousands of likes and thousands of people visiting that page. You can see how much interaction we had and all the different comments that we had. And this is also a place where things that are happening in our district, we post those links and we allow those conversations to take place. So it's a good place for us to get feedback. Like, for example, we were considering changing our school start times. Well, we put some information on our Facebook page, and we're able to, again, we talked about that two-way communication. Social media is really that place where we're able to engage in our stakeholders with that two-way communication to share information and bring them in where they can comment and they can ask questions and they can do a lot of things, and then we can respond to them and move forward. So having that social media integration has been critical, and we really try to use social media as much as we can to engage our community. And again, I can't say enough about our Twitter engagement too, because we also integrated Twitter into our website, and we use Twitter all the time to share with our community what's happening. That's really where our community can see the most up-to-date things that are happening in our district. Social media has been huge for us to share what's happening in our district, and we actually created a district hashtag to share with our community. It's hashtag Miller Shift, to share with our community what is happening in our schools. So we use that, teachers use it, students use it to share what is going on in our district and how we're really using it to try and engage our community with how teaching and learning is changing with our one-to-one initiative and some of the other things that we're doing. So having that Twitter integration on our website has allowed us to, again, take our engagement and that two-way engagement with our community to another level.
And that's what it's embedded. That Twitter feed is embedded on so many of our pages now. Our guidance department at the high school uses it quite a bit, as does our athletics program, and more of our school buildings are starting to get the Twitter accounts set up and embed those on their web pages as well.
And we're trying to, obviously with our strategic impact, our strategic plan, we're trying to educate our community about how there's shifts happening in education, where we have shifts in curriculum, we have shifts happening in instruction, shifts happening in assessment, and shifts in the learning experience in general. So Noblesville, our mascot are the Millers. So that's where we came up with that Miller Shift, trying to share with our community how education is changing. And you can see here, here's an example from Instagram that I put on there that shows, we've got students interacting with iPads and students in small groups out in the hallway learning. So again, it's just another way to engage our community and get them to see how we're using these devices and using technology and doing different things in the classroom. And again, to get feedback and hear their questions and be able to share those things with them. So I can't say enough about that. And another thing is, the video content. We created a Vimeo channel. We also have a YouTube channel. I saw an article the other day about a district close by to us that is taking one of their teachers to halftime, and that teacher is just creating YouTube channel content for the district. And I'll let you speak about how we do that on the website.
Yeah, with the Vimeo, it has become a huge part. We're using Vimeo for creating video tutorials for staff trainings, also for walkthroughs and guides for our parents and students on how to use, different pieces of our technology, like how to create a parent account with our student information system and that sort of thing. So the Vimeo and video, I would like to see more and more video put on the website, because I just think it's a great resource, and it's more engaging than just reading a bunch of text.
And I wanted to share a video that we created to, again, tell the story about our district.
I love Noblesville schools because they really help kids grow with their education, and they really show us more to life than just multiplication. They really show us how to get a step into real life.
By doing the 4 C's of critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and being able to create is preparing them for the real world and setting them up for a lifelong of these skills to take out into college and on their future jobs.
I love Noblesville schools. Well, I've been in Noblesville schools since I was in kindergarten, so I've grown up here my entire life, and they are just so open, especially in the high school, so open. If you create an idea that you want to really take and run with, they are just like, okay, go ahead and do it. There's not really too many limitations on if you think of something. You really have that liberty to go out and accomplish it, and that's just something that is so rare in so many school districts.
Every single kid in a classroom is really just family to their teacher. So I think it's really important for kids to still be learning stuff even in 4th grade for college, because it really will tell the teacher that I made this kid grow and become a hero, and that's what I did it. I think it really must feel great for a teacher. But for kids, when we succeed, we feel like we just made a lifetime decision and made it right. So I think it's very important for us kids to learn in 4th grade about how we're going to go into college.
Noblesville schools means opportunity.
And again, you can see, it's one thing for us to tell stories and engage with our community, but when our community can hear from teachers, students, like that, it really tells the story of our district and is able to engage, our community. So we try to use video like that to tell those stories of how, students are learning in our classrooms as much as we can. And also, community events. We try to host community events to engage with our community and go out and build those relationships with parents and community members. This is a flyer for something that we're doing this year. Actually, next Friday, we're having a back-to-school bash, and we're going to have, on our town square, we're going to invite people to come out and meet their teachers and just engage with the school corporation. We're going to give out free school supplies and things like that. Our elementaries have ice cream socials to welcome those new parents and kindergartners. We have the Meet at the Middle program for our middle schoolers that are new to our middle schools. We obviously have open houses at all of our buildings to engage and bring our community in. And our foundation will have a lot of events too that bring the community in to participate. And that the video that we just saw was from a learning showcase where we invited people to come in and see, student, kind of like a science fair, if you will, but where we had students sharing their learning with the community. And that was a really powerful event because, again, we're telling that story of what's happening in our schools to our community and to our business leaders and to our political leaders. So it was a really cool event. So that's another way that we, try to engage with our community.
Yeah, and then we just have several groups that we reach out to try to keep this, parental engagement. We have, obviously the PTOs. We have a community advisory council that has regular meetings throughout the year. We have an annual State of the Schools address to the Chamber of Commerce that our superintendent presents, just to kind of say, here's what's going on in Noblesville schools. And we have a volunteer program where volunteers who want to come into the school and work with the kids or be, chaperones or whatever, they actually have to go through the website and apply online to go through that process. We do use School Messenger to send out notifications to parents, either by email or phone call. We will be introducing SMS text messages through School Messenger for this upcoming year. And the online surveys, we will push out online surveys to just, to ask questions for pertinent things that are coming up, like we moved to a balanced calendar a couple of years ago. We're looking at changing our start times for not this year, but the upcoming 15-16 school year. So those kind of things we push out. Anything we want to kind of get, check the pulse on the community and we can do the online surveys.
Thinking about our Ed Foundation, I think I see somebody asked about this, but like, for example, we had the Harlem Wizards come to our district as a fundraiser. So again, it was a fun event that we held in our high school gymnasium, and our Ed Foundation put that on and raised money, and then we'll use that money. Obviously the community came into our schools and had a really fun evening, and it helped raise money for the schools, and then we used that money for scholarships, for student scholarships and for teacher scholarships. So that's an example of how our Ed Foundation works with our corporation. And again, those surveys, we try to survey our community as much as possible to try and gather their feedback. And another thing that we've been doing is creating business partnerships, because as we all know, learning doesn't just happen at school. So we're trying to engage with our community through internships and partnerships with these are just a couple of the local businesses that we work with that, our students go out and do internships at these places, and then they volunteer in our schools as well. So it's not, we don't always want to be just taking from our community. We want to be giving back to our community as well. So we try to we have an internship program where kids go out and learn on the job skills at these different businesses that we work with.
And then print, school newsletters, even though it's a print form, we now typically send those out via School Messenger, so they receive a PDF copy of that. Our strategic plan, we put together like little pocket facts about Noblesville schools, our annual report. We still, even though we're the push for digital, we still have actual print media that we do use that parents and community members can access for additional information, and that's either pushed out through School Messenger or posted online for them to download.
Yeah, and we have a little, and we'll take out too the Pocket Facts, which is just a little brochure about our district. We'll take that out to local businesses, the local dentist, the different places, the local supermarket, and we'll just leave those around so that people that want to see what's going on in our schools can pick those up and learn about them. And obviously we, try to put all those things on our website as well. And we try to use our student information system and our learning management system to engage our community. Obviously we give our parents access to not only our website, but also our student information system so they can progress monitor their student. Our learning management system, because so many things happen in there. We let our parents co-enroll in those courses in our learning management system so that they can, progress monitor and see what's going on. And obviously they want to be able to stay on top of attendance, discipline, things like that. So we, use those tools to engage with our community as well. And I can't say enough about our PR and marketing department, because they're really the ones that reach out and gather those success stories and recognize the great things that are happening in our district and push it out via social media. They're kind of the hub of all of our, telling those success stories. And they'll go out to, anybody that'll listen, like our Lions Club or Kiwanis, go to different conferences, reach out to the media, tell them about things that are happening in our district, and try to build relationships with those media folks, because, we want people to come look at our district and share what's happening. And we have a local TV station where we do interviews, and they come in and broadcast our school board meetings. And we have signage, around town about, hey, school's starting up, or hey, we're doing this. So we try to engage with our community through PR and marketing as much as we can as well. And our PR and marketing department does an awesome job with that.
Yeah, the website's just the vehicle sort of for that kind of thing. We give them the framework, and then it's PR and marketing, put in the content and make it snap.
Yeah, for example, we reached out to the media and told them about the things that are happening as we get back to school. So they're going to do a back to school issue, with the local paper here, which is going to be a great way to share with others, the things that their students are going to experience in school this year.
Okay, I guess it's time for
any
questions that we can try to address. And do we have parents logging in? We do not currently have parents or students set up as users in SchoolWires. The main reason is because the content that they would be accessing as a registry, we're not really using the website for that. We're using the student information system or the learning management system for that kind of thing. So there's really no need for parents or students to have a SchoolWires account.
And with, like, for example, Google Calendars, they can subscribe to all those calendars that we put in there to their own personal calendar. So we've been able to get around some of the calendaring things that way as well.
Me personally, do I prefer Vimeo or YouTube? Personally, I prefer Vimeo because of the settings that you can use to make videos that you post on there private. You can select if you want it to be embedded only on a particular website, which is what I do on anything I upload. I say that it can only be embedded on a noblesvilleschools.org domain, and you can prevent it from being downloaded if you want. I think they're just better privacy controls through Vimeo than YouTube. I mean, YouTube definitely has its uses, but for anything I'm doing with staff trainings particularly, Vimeo is my preferred.
It's also HTML5, so that makes it really seamless on pretty much any device out there. So that's a big factor too. So Vimeo is a great tool. Yeah, conversations are monitored. And what I mean by that is, it's people have to, on Facebook, obviously you have to create an account, and when people make comments on our page, we see those things and we will respond. But a lot of times the parents kind of police themselves. Like if a parent gets in there and has a critical comment, you'll see another parent jump in there and correct them and give them the right information. So it's almost kind of like it's a conversation taking place that we don't have to monitor. Of course, we monitor it, and we want to see what the conversation is and what people are talking about, and we'll respond when appropriate. But most of the time, the parents moderate that conversation themselves, and they'll say, "Hey, I think you got this wrong. I think the district was trying to do this." And it's amazing how our own community will educate each other about what the facts are when because sometimes people will say things that aren't true on there, and it's amazing that they'll kind of police themselves and monitor it that way. So we monitor it just to know what the conversation is, and we'll jump in when appropriate, but most of the time we just let the conversation take place and just kind of watch it happen.
That's what I think. Initially, I think there was a lot of fear of if we open up and start using Facebook, what's going to be posted. But honestly, the experience has been, as Andy was saying, that parents in the community kind of self-moderate and take care of anybody that has misinformation or is being inappropriate. And I can't really think that we've had to do much actual monitoring.
Mm-mm. We actually worked with a third party on that, and I'm not sure the exact name of the program that they used to make that. I would imagine it was probably Premiere Pro or something like that. But we did work with a vendor that's all they do.
And that's what I was going to throw out. I edit a lot of the video that's posted on there, and I use Premiere Pro, and it's my preferred video editor for doing anything that's going to be what I'm going to call professional quality.
And we, obviously as school administrators, we obviously do participate in a lot of the social media conversation. We do not have a videographer on staff. A lot of our video comes from locally created. We try to engage our students. We have, over at our high school, we have a class where it's Mass Communications, where they do a lot of video content for us. So we really use our students to generate a lot of that content, kind of like an internship.
Yeah, there have been a lot of times that we'll actually ask and coordinate with the teacher of the class to get a couple of students to film an event for us, and then we usually edit the video, but the students are actually a lot of times recording the video for us.
We do stream live events. We stream, sporting events. If we have big sporting events, basketball games, football games, baseball games, pretty much any. A lot of our sporting events are streamed. We also stream like our graduation. We stream, big events that we have here in the district. We stream our board meetings, so anybody can watch those. Live, and then we also obviously have a Vimeo channel, and a lot of that content ends up on our Vimeo or YouTube channels as well. So yeah, we stream as much as we can. We're fortunate to have a local company that streams a lot of that, does a lot of that streaming for us. So we do stream a lot of content.
And I see they asked if we have an AUP for students to have their pictures. We have a FERPA form that they can fill out that we ask each year when we do the re-enrollment or a new student comes in. Do we have permission to photograph or put you on the website? And the parents can either opt in or out on their students for directory release, media release, photo release, that sort of thing. And that's in addition to our technology responsible use policy. So we kind of have the FERPA as one piece, and then the responsible use policy is the second piece. Yeah, our mobile app was created by the School Wires, so it's through them, and that way everything works seamlessly with the School Wires website. You can actually, as a website editor, you can edit content and upload content to your School Wires webpage through the mobile app, which is going to be pretty awesome coming up with the new school year. So you don't have to be sitting at your computer to update your webpage.
Yeah, I mean, those two need to work in conjunction with each other. So we had to have that was something you almost have to have, because you don't want that that disconnect between the content.
We've tried to, for teachers, we have kind of mandated that they at least have certain a couple of 3 pages as teacher pages. Every school teacher has to have certain content on their teacher pages. Now beyond that, if they create something external, they can link to it, but we don't embed that within the School Wires page. They have to link out to it.
Yeah, we've told our teachers that we've kind of said, here's the minimum expectations for the website. We want you to have these things. And if you look at our teacher pages, you'll see we wanted them to have kind of about the teacher. That's where they share a little bit of contact information, a little bit about themselves. And then we also wanted them to just share a little bit about their classroom, maybe their schedule for the day, or maybe a little bit about their syllabus. And that was really the kind of the minimum expectations, kind of that contact information. And if they want to link out to something else, that's perfectly fine, because a lot of teachers have a personal preference for using Weebly or other things like that. But we also, teachers will also link to our learning management system. So, they go to the website to as the initial point of contact, but then they'll go to the learning management system or someplace else. So that's kind of the starting point for engaging with the classroom.
And we also wanted to keep the look. Our website, we're pretty proud of the look that we've got, and we didn't want to start embedding and having teacher pages start looking all over the map. We wanted the look and the feel of the website to be consistent. So that's why if they've created something external, free to link to it, but we're not going to embed it directly within and change their look within the School Wires webpage for that.
Well, I mean, if you're going to try to engage with parents when they don't have a lot of technology, you have to kind of go out and meet the parents where they are. If your parents aren't on a lot of digital devices, but they're maybe at different community meetings, like we talked about before, we go out and we have a function, back to school bash. We invite parents into our buildings as much as we can. We go out, our students go out and they do internships with local businesses. We go out, like, we're sending our new teachers out to meet business, our small business owners. So there's a lot of different ways. You kind of have to meet them where they are. So wherever your community is, you got to try to engage and create opportunities to interact with them and build those relationships. So that's probably the biggest way I would say to get parents involved is, because a lot of parents may not have had a good experience in school. So we've got to find ways to make it, school welcoming and go out and meet them where they are. We can't just expect them to come to us. We have to go out and build relationships with them at those places that they are, whatever clubs, social functions, try to just build those relationships.
And that's why we have a lady who's in charge of our youth assistance program, and I know she recently has gone out with her laptop to some of our families who don't have computers at home, and she took her laptop to them to let them, update stuff through for the re-enrollment for or student registration and that sort of thing. So she actually went out to them to help get them re-registered for the upcoming school year. We also have inform the families of low-cost internet options, because again, we have that iPad initiative for 6 through 12. If their student needs to get wireless access from home, we do try to point them in directions of some low-cost internet.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to share the the expectations. It's kind of, if you go to some of our teacher pages, you can kind of see what it is. It's basically those 2 pages that we said they had to have. We said that we wanted to have about the teacher, and actually in SchoolWires there's a format that they've already created for us. It's an app that you can plug in there, and then they literally have to just fill out the form with their contact information, a photo, a little bit about themselves. And then we wanted them to do about the classroom and just add a little bit of information about them, their classroom, what their schedule might be if it's a K-5 classroom, and some other basic information about the class. But I'd be happy to share that after the webinar is over so we can upload it to the resources.
And that just kind of reminded me of one of the things when we were going with SchoolWires. One of the comments I kept telling our staff members when I had to go out to train them on the new SchoolWires teacher pages, I kept promising them it really is going to be a very easy process. And at the end of the training, almost every single person would come up and tell me, wow, you were right. It really is just that easy. I could click a couple of buttons and I have my webpage updated.
We actually do lunch money through a different our food service department has another vendor that they work with that collects lunch money and allows parents to do that. So we don't actually do it through SchoolWires, but we can do it through the website, and forms such as field trips. Yeah, I mean we a lot of our teachers will create forms for parents to fill out and send that out electronically. So we do that, but and we certainly could do it in SchoolWires. There's a lot of different tools you can use to collect forms or have people give permission online.
And it works real well, like especially we use Google Apps. We can embed those Google Forms, and we've done that for some things. Have the parents sign up. It's basically through a Google form, but it's through our website is how they access the form. But I'm trying to think of any other signed forms. Our online registration system, it's linked through SchoolWires and also through our student information system. So much of our stuff now has shifted to online, but something like the permission forms, I think unless the teacher sets up like one of those Google forms.
And I think for especially the elementary parents, I think paper pencil a lot of times works best, where they can put it in a backpack and maybe follow up with an email and send it home as an attachment too. You kind of have to send it out multiple ways, and then but a lot of those teachers will do paper pencil for some of those things too.
I don't think we really had a separate rubric for the mobile app. We just the key for that one was making sure it was a seamless integration with the website. So that's why again we chose to go with the SchoolWires mobile app, because obviously it did. There were not going to be any issues with trying to integrate it directly with the website, because again, we didn't want to have to manage two different sources or anything. We wanted it to integrate perfectly.
And really what we did was we looked at the analytics from our site, and we said, what are the top, because they told us we could only have X number of items.
Right.
So we basically went through and identified the top 6 or 7 things that people go to our website for, and those were the things that we made as the main content on our mobile app. And we worked with our PR department on that, and they said, here's what people want. Here's what people want to see most. For example, lunch menus. We know that people want to know what's for lunch, and lunch menus is way up there. So we wanted to make sure we had lunch menus kind of in that top list of things that people were able to find. So that's kind of how we developed the mobile app, was looking at what are those top things that people go to your website for, and how can we put that in a mobile-friendly format. And that's kind of how we developed the app. And that was, obviously we consulted with SchoolWires on that, and their leadership in that area kind of led us down that path.
We haven't sent out anything via text message in the past, but we will start taking advantage of that with the 14-15 school year. Part of it was because we did not have permission or phone numbers to use to send out through text message. So part of the re-enrollment process for this school year, that was one of the questions. Do you want to receive text messages from the school district, and if so, what number do you want to receive those as? So that is something that we are going to be taking advantage of, again, beginning with this school year. School Messenger is a separate vendor. It's not part of SchoolWires. One of the reasons we went with School Messenger is because we use PowerSchool as our student information system, and it integrates directly within PowerSchool. So it was kind of a no-brainer on that one. We can search out specific groups of students within PowerSchool and then send a targeted School Messenger to just whoever we searched out and selected from within PowerSchool.
If you just search for Noblesville in the App Store or Noblesville Schools, you'll see our app. Also, if you visit our webpage on a mobile device, it'll bring it up at the top, kind of as a banner at the top that you can download it. So, if you just search for Noblesville Schools, you'll be able to see our App Store.
Yep. Students are accessing website with their personal mobile devices. Mostly, I said, in the high school last year, and even in the middle schools, because the teachers all have iPads, we noticed that the students were hopping on, and that teachers were passing around the iPad and letting students get on to check their grades and that kind of thing. So the students were checking the website and getting to the website through mostly iPads, and sometimes, they all have cell phones, it seems like these days, and they are, hopping on through their cell phones as well. The student track, a lot of the way that we know that, it's kind of twofold. They're coming, if they're inside our network, we're picking up those IP addresses, and we know the IP addresses and the devices. We can tell by the devices that are using if they're students or not. They don't have to log on to the website. Like I said, it's just device and IP address. We can tell that's our students. Yeah, when I'm referring to mobile devices, I am including iPads.
I saw somebody put this in the chat window, but content management is what you use to manage video and files and photos,
and even just text.
Yeah,
on a web page.
Any content that you want to share with your stakeholders, you can put it all in one place. That's a content management system.
And what that does, a content management system just lets you assign permissions, and then they don't have to worry about the template or the design. They're literally just adding the content itself.
and it puts it in a friendly format for them. They don't have to know how to code.
They don't need to know what the code I know.
We can password protect some things for staff and make the other things public for others. So it allows you to manage all that content with those features.
Has the site increased the parental involvement within the school? I would have to say definitely. Kind of one of the things that I've seen, we went to the online form for parents to sign up to be volunteers, and the volunteer database has just gone through the roof with parents signing up via the website. We also get questions submitted. We have a contact us form through the website. We get phone calls all the time. Hey, I was on your website, looking for this, or saw this on your website. So definitely, parents are all over the website.
And so with that, I think we're going to turn it back over to Deborah.
Wonderful. Andy and Michelle, you are awesome. Thank you so much. This was just packed full of information, and we're just so grateful that you took the time out of your busy schedules to help us out with this presentation. This was great.